This is the Safelink Street Team app. The very first thing that you will do is type in the person's zip code. Once you've done that, it'll lead you to the application. You put in the first and last name. Ignore the middle initial. It does not want the middle initial. It can hurt you, but it cannot help you. So you're just going to do the first and last name. You're going to do the date of birth, the last four of the social. You're going to put in their address as well. Now, this line up here is called the qualifying address. You put their address in here, and you would put in the apartment number or lot number, suite number, etc. in the address line 2 box. In order to do that, you put, for an apartment, you put APT space 1 or 2 or whatever the apartment number is. So APT space apartment number. Okay. You do not need to do the email address or the contact phone number. You can ignore the email address and the phone number. So we know that this top address is called a qualifying address. We spoke earlier about sending a phone to a homeless shelter or a place where multiple people reside at. If more than one person is at that address, they're not going to be able to accept a phone at that address because there's a one phone per household rule. Okay. So what we're going to do in that situation is we're going to put in their mothers or fathers or their friends or any kind of address that they primarily reside at, their primary mailing address, and then we're going to ship it to the homeless shelter or wherever that multi-dwelling household is. In order to get to the shipping address, we just check that green box right there, and a shipping address will pop up. So we're going to put their mailing address or primary residence at the very top on the where the qualifying address is, and we're going to ship it to the homeless shelter, etc. Or if they have a P.O. box that they want to use, this is where you will put in the P.O. box. Okay. At the top here, top left, that is your menu button. In order, let's say that you messed up on the application, you need to redo it. You would check that. You would go to home and do the zip code again. You would restart it with the zip code. If they give you the wrong zip code in the beginning of the application, then you would need to redo the app and start all over. That is the very first thing that you do. If you have a customer that comes up, they say they haven't received their phone yet, you want to look it up without having to put in all that information, you can look up their account with these three simple things here: their zip code, their date of birth, the last four of their social. It'll pull it up quickly to show you the actual enrollment and tell you what's going on with it. It will let you know if the account is pending, which means that further information is required or something was rejected. Or it will tell you it'll also tell you what was rejected, what they needed in order to qualify. It will also tell you if they're enrolled. If it says that they're enrolled, that means that they mailed the phone out and they just haven't received it yet. Just tell them to wait a couple extra days. It'll be there. They say 7 to 10 days, but it usually takes 3 to 5 to receive it in the mail. Next here, we're going to go to View Recent Enrollments. This is a list of your enrollments and what's going on with them. You're going to go here throughout the day to check on your enrollments to see what's going on with them, to see if they've been qualified, to see what else they might have needed. We check on them. It's going to give us the information on that account. The application form is always going to be approved because if you have finished the application and then you hit continue, the very last thing that you do, the application form is going to be approved. Qualification proof is the picture of the food stamp, Medicaid card, or Social Security award letter, etc. SSN proof, obviously the Social Security card. Birthday proof, That would be your ID or birth certificate. Address proof. Address proof is something that you should never have to provide. The reason for that is because once you have put in the address in wrong 3 times, it will make you provide proof of that address. You don't want to have to go through that. You don't want to have to provide a picture of a utility bill. Most people don't have that on them, and it's pointless anyway. Once you have put in the wrong address 3 times, you need to restart the app, do it over again with the correct address. To find the correct address, we go to Melissa Data. We will cover that in another video. But the main thing you need to know here is after 3 attempts that have failed, restart the app, put in the correct address. I'll show you how to figure out what that address actually is as well, because a lot of people don't know that correct address. The USAC worksheet is the household worksheet. And remember, that's the one we say is a no-no. In order for them to qualify, the answers are no, no. No, and then no adults live with me. Continue. HHW picture form is the selfie that you take of them on that household worksheet. There's going to be a camera on the top left-hand corner of your screen. What you do is whenever you hit next, no adults live with me, continue, whenever you hit those 4 buttons, it's going to take a picture of them. There's going to be a camera in the top left of your corner. That HHW picture form is that selfie that you took of them. Dependent SSN proof, that is whenever you're signing up a child, and they're not in public records, so the app wants a picture of that Social Security card. Remember, on Social Security cards, we're going to take a pen and we're going to cover up the first 5 digits of that card number so that only the last 4 digits show. They don't want to see the entire social number. They only want to see the last 4, but they still want to see all 4 corners of that card. So you're going to take a pen and you're going to cover the first 5 digits of that card. Take a picture of the Social Security card. The dependent birthday proof. Yes, they do have kid IDs. They are rare. Not many people have those. But so in that case, you would provide a picture of the birth certificate. In some states, they have the smaller birth certificates that are more like ID size. And in those states, a lot of parents do carry those. Identity proof. You will need that if you're working in a state that requires a picture of the ID. Certain states do require a picture of an ID. Tennessee is one of those states. I believe Illinois is one of those states as well. Moving address proof. Moving address proof is what you're going to need to get somebody out of a contract if you're doing a port freeze exception. Now, currently we're not able to do those. I'm hoping that they will fix the app so that we can do those again. As of last week, they stopped doing them. But what that's doing is these phones are associated with addresses. So if you had a different address, you could get a different phone. What we use to show proof of a moving address would be a valid ID, a utility bill, less than 60 days old, or a letter from the food stamp, Medicaid, or Social Security office that has that different address on it. If you're able to do port freeze exceptions and it says that they want to show proof of moving address, it'll say continue. Then that gives you that's your acknowledgement that you need to show a picture of that. Enrollment dashboard is where it's going to show you how many qualified you have for the day, how many pending you have for the day, and how many rejected you have for the day. You can also select a specific day, and it will tell you how many what you have done for that day or for that week. All we have to do there is just go to date, check it. It'll tell you how many you select that day, and it'll tell you how many you did.